Hello everybody, this is Marcus and I am going to talk to you about the creation of the Roulette Boy plushie that I made not a week, but a time back anyway. I promised that I would make an in-depth video of the process, and now I'm gonna show you how I made it. First off, why did I honestly make it in the first place? Well, I'm a big fan of the show, and it's a thought I played around with a lot, and in the end, I went with it. But enough about that, because let's dive right in. First, keep in mind that I have not made any plushies for a very long time. Last time I did it was in like middle grade, I think, and that was like maybe 10 years ago. So, and I didn't have any bigger guides or anything to follow either, so I made everything on my own. And if any professionals, plushie makers out there are watching this, and you have any opinions or ideas to share, then please write it down, because I'll be reading it all. Promise. Okay, the first picture we show here is the actual sketch I made. Made a sketch on a piece of paper. And depending on the character design, you need to make at least 3 different sketches. One up front, one side, and one from above. However, since front and side technically is the same thing on this character, I made it both in one single image. I hope you can see it any good, but the wheel is about 19 centimeters in diameter, and I think the head is supposed to be 8 centimeters high and 12 centimeters wide. Also, as you can see, I have added the arm directly under the head. That's not part of the actual design, that's just the front and side view at the same time, as I said. I also have a top view of the actual wheel, and originally it's 16 pieces. I cut it down to 8 because 16 would be overkill. Originally the bigger pieces are black and white and the outline is colored, but I made it the other way around just to save textiles. I'll talk about that later on. Here are the actual textiles I'm gonna use. It's about 8 sheets. That's around 20 centimeters to 45 centimeters large. I have two black ones. Those are mostly gonna go for the wheel, and the colored ones for the face, the white one for the body, brown one for hair and feet. So first thing I do is to cut out the different pieces and attach them to the actual sheets and cut them out. One important thing to keep in mind is to leave about half a centimeter around the edges, so you have anything to attach the other pieces to. It will make sense in a moment, I promise. And doing the same thing with all the other pieces, I have the 4 head pieces and 4 body pieces. Please note that another design change I made here is originally the body pieces are like chest pattern, but not in this case because they didn't have any chest pattern when I bought the textiles. I'm gonna use the ROMs on the body design to make some kind of illusion of chest pattern. The red pieces are the arms and the brown are the feet. On these I don't have to leave out a small edge around the cutout because I'm not gonna attach them to anything because they will be hanging freely from the body piece itself. Jumping forward a bit, now I have attached all the 4 round pieces to the body parts. This is done by sewing them onto the pieces. I'm not using a sewing machine because I don't have one, so I'm doing it traditionally with needle and thread. The next picture shows the arms. I made a sew stitch around the complete arm just to give it some more stability, and for the fact that it wouldn't that the textile wouldn't open itself after it's finished. And the same thing with the feet. Now when I have the body part that cut out off screen, and I have the 4 body parts, and I have the feet part. So now I attach them all together. Now of course is that when sewing them together you need to use the inside side up, because you're later gonna turn it around. And here is the same image, only turned upside down. We can see that the parts are attached to each other, and the feet is coming up between 2 of the pieces, the body piece and the bottom piece. Now it's sewed together, and I'm using needles here temporarily to keep the parts stuck together to keep the parts together so it can stand up. Now first I attach the upper body piece to one of the body piece parts, once again with the inside out. Another thing to keep in mind here is that we are attaching the arms at the same time we are attaching the other body parts to the upper body part. And this is a little bit tricky because you need to position the arms correctly and at the right side as you're doing it. So it needs a lot of checking and make sure you're controlling you're doing it right. Because if you screw up, you have to redo it, and it's annoying and it's not good. Now we have all the parts connected to the upper body part. We have two of the main body parts are not connected yet, and that's most because we're gonna use it later when we're gonna stack it up with fillings. And here is the part standing on its own. We can here see the two body pieces that aren't closed yet. Right now it's needed to keep them together, and the arms are connected between the body pieces and the upper body piece, just like the feet are connected to the body piece and the bottom piece. And with this we'll leave the body part for now. Now we go on to the wheel. Using the cutout, we cut out the two detail pieces we need for making the wheel, and make 8 cutouts of it. We need 2 red ones, 2 green ones, 2 blue ones, and 2 yellow ones. And then we do the same with the black and white pieces. Then we take one of our 2 wheel pieces. We need 2 of these black wheel pieces, big ones. And we take one of them and we attach. We attach the pieces to the black piece until we're happy with its position, and then sew it together with needle and thread. This takes a very, very, very long time. I sat with this for at least 2 to 3 days. Because overall it's 16 pieces you need to attach. A lot of you are probably wondering by this that how do I do the actual sewing? How do I sew it? Here's the under part of it. And as you can see, my needle thread is going forward and back a little bit. Forward, back, and the forward part is of course longer than the backwards part. We're doing forwards here on the underside and backwards on the upper side. And underside is going forwards. It's a little bit tricky, but hopefully you understand what I mean. And now we take the other black wheel piece and attach it to the first piece. Of course with the detail piece with the detail pieces on the inside, because we're later gonna turn it around and fit it up. And now we continue with the head. First off, I'm gonna cut out the hair, because if you look close on the official design, you can actually see that it has hair between the head and the wheel part. So I'm taking a big brown piece that in length it goes around half the head. I take the piece and I flip it and I fold it over and I cut to make it symmetrical. Then I keep it folded and I needle the parts together and I make cutouts for the different hair. And as you can see here, we have the thinner part for the front of the head and the thicker part for the back of the head. Now I take the head, the face piece, it's the red one if you don't know that, and I attach the face expressions pieces to it. Of course, I cut these out off screen, of course, because it's not much to show. And well, cut off pieces until you find the expression you're happy with. Because the eyes is actually the second cutout I made, because the first cutout was way too small. So if you don't like it, then recut and make new pieces, and then keep going until you're happy. And of course, I have a blue piece that's representing the drooling in the lower part of the face. And here I have made the mouth for him, I took a black thread and folded it double so that the line would be thicker than normal, and then I made every sewing part also double, just to make it 4 times a normal thread, just to make it out that it stands out really good. Now when I have the 4 headpieces and the upper headpiece and the hair, I can connect them all together with needles and then sew it around. And this is technically the same thing as the body part. And here we have the pieces connected. And of course, if you know his real design, you know that you know his color pattern around his head, because clockwise from the red it's yellow, blue, and green. Then we continue with the bottom part. We attach the bottom part to one of the headpieces, and then we keep attaching the bottom part to the other headpiece and headpieces between each other. But of course we have to leave one part open just for the fillings. In this case we have the piece between the green and the blue part is open. Now when we have all the 3 parts done, it's time to fill them up. I managed to get some stuffing at a flea market for less than $2. Normally they cost around $5–6 to get 0.2 kilos, but if you're really lucky, that I was, then you can get it for cheaper. And I also cut out a piece of cardboard to put at the bottom, just to give it some stability, and it will be able to stand on its own, because I wanted it to do that. Now when I have the fillings, I fill up the 3 pieces and then attach them together. When attaching them together, I need to fold the textile inwards and then attach it, just so the edges is still on the inside after it's connected. And now when all 3 pieces are filled up, we need to attach them to each other. To do this, I first took the wheel and the head part, put them together, and took a needle and thread and simply sewed bit by bit between the different parts. This is a very special method, because at the beginning it looks really weird, but as soon as you get the whole lap around and tightens it, it gets really stability, and the pieces aren't going anywhere. And then the same thing with the pieces between the head and the body. And with that, the plushie is done. Now afterwards, in retrospect, things I could have done better. There are 2 things I could have done better. First off, I made the outlines, I made the outcuts between the cutout and the textile a little bit too big, so the plushie became a little bit bigger than I was hoping for. But I'm not really that sad about it, because bigger is better. The second thing is that I think I didn't put enough fillings in the body part, because the body needs to support both the head and the wheel, of course, but I don't think I did enough, so sometimes the head can wiggle a little, and it's really annoying. But overall, I had really fun doing this, and I hope you had fun watching this video. And if you're still watching and still coping with my really bad English, then God bless you. And if you don't believe in God, then still bless you. And that's it. And I need something to drink. So see you next time.